Hello. Hi, am I audible and visible? Can some of you confirm?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, you're
Oh,
audible.
great. Thank you. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this online tutorial session for the course Urban Services and Planning. I'll be handling this course. I'm Jeslu. I'm doing my PhD with Professor Debapratam Pandit in City Future Lab in IIT Kharagpur. This course was started last year. The first run of this course was there, and we received very good feedback from this course last time we ran, which was exactly a year before. One sec, let me just add everybody. Yeah. Yeah, so once again, welcome everybody. Few people just joined right now. So, welcome everyone to this course. I'm very happy to see so many of you participating in this online tutorial session today. It's quite a good number that we have got compared to what we had previous time which we ran the course. So, just to give a brief outline, this course, you might have seen the lecture videos already. You know what the course is about and how important it is for our society and in order to plan sustainable development goals or in fact any development goal we need to know about these aspects. So that's what the main idea is. So now why do we have such tutorial sessions is so it's a very simple course. It's more or less there's not much problem solving. In fact, there is no problem solving at all. Uh, there are no calculations involved. As much as possible, it's a very simple, understandable course. But such tutorials help. Like so, these interactive sessions are mainly kept so that we can discuss some sample problems which were given in previous times assignment, which appeared in previous year question papers, or other gate examinations. And also, we have taken some questions from different exam platforms and we'll be discussing those questions. So in the process, we'll also know whether our understanding about the subject is clear because this subject is it's based on something that happens around us. So we would already have some understanding. Sometimes it can be right, sometimes it can be wrong. So all that will also be put to test in this. So the idea is we need to make this a very interactive session and it won't be like me lecturing, but it would be more or less us interacting about the whole thing. So we are all on the same side of the table in this. So I guess some people are joining. So we'll just yeah. So this is a good number, 17. So yeah. One thing is if we can all keep our videos on, it would be really good because then the interaction becomes better. If at all, if you don't want to keep your videos on, also it's fine. But I would prefer that everybody's video is on and you can have a good interaction. Right. So, so today's it's on module one that we will be discussing, which is so all the five based on all the five lectures, we have some sample questions and it's very simple. So we our timing is from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So this will recur every week. Every Monday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. we'll be having this interactive session and we'll be discussing about that week's content so that you can solve your assignment and submit. So I'm assuming that Wednesday is the deadline to submit all your assignments. So, just to give an outline, as submitting assignments is important because as along with your final examination, the scores of assignments are also considered in your final marking scheme. So, out of the 12, so this is a 12-week course. We'll have this every for the next 12 weeks. So, out of these 12 weeks, at least 10 assignments will have to be submitted. So, the first few assignments are much easier compared to the later ones. So, we can start uh, a good starting would be good. So yeah, so today's content is it's a bit easy because it's very where can I find the assignments? So the assignments are every week the assignment gets uploaded in your NPTEL platform. I'm assuming that you also get an email regarding that it's been uploaded. So it will be uploaded every week. Along with that, I think the previous year's link has also been shared. Okay, so Shal Valia says, I did not find it on the portal. Fine, we'll come to that. So let me, okay, if that's the case, I'll just quickly show you, because one doubt has been raised on in that aspect. I'll just share my screen just to clear this doubt now itself. Um, yep. So that's my window. And yeah, so you have a portal this way, right? So in this portal, you would be having your assignment. So this was week zero assignment, which is not evaluated, but just for practice. Then you have week ones, you have all the lectures, and then you have your weekly quiz. Oh, by assignment, I meant the quiz. Maybe the word maybe that created confusion. So yeah, so this is week one assignment. And today we will be discussing some questions which are very similar to this assignment which is given, right? So maybe not the exact same questions, but then some similar questions we will be discussing. So this is where you would be finding the assignment. So every week this will be updated. Along with that, you'll also get an email also. So if you don't get an email, you can go to the announcements and everything will be there. So here, one thing you have a download link for previous year videos. So which will take you to last semester's course page. So you will have all the lectures in this. So if you want to go ahead and learn next week's lecture also, then the videos are available over here. Yeah, so that's it about the course overview. I guess all of you have already seen the lecture, so I don't want to repeat that again. So before we begin with the questions, I just want to know the group so that we can plan our discussions accordingly. So it would be good if you all can just introduce yourself very briefly. I guess we have 19, 20 people. So in 10 minutes, we can try to finish that introduction very briefly on what are you doing and what are your expectations of the course, or in very brief. So let's go by, based on the alphabetical order. So I see Aditi Gupta. So Aditi, can you just briefly introduce yourself?
Sure, ma'am. So, am I visible?
Oh, hi. Yes, Aditi. Yes.
Yes. So, hello everyone. My name is Aditi Gupta, and currently I'm pursuing B planning for NIT Bhopal, that is MANET. And talking about the course, so in previous years in this course, we have studied a lot of whatever there is in this subject syllabus. So, I'm quite excited about like whatever we have studied. How will revise it in particular this subject. So yes, ma'am, that's it.
Okay.
And one more thing I want to add that, ma'am, if you remember, I did my internship last year in
I
IIT
remember.
Kharagpur
I
only.
remember. I remember. That's why
Yes.
when I saw
So
you itself, I could recognize you. Yeah. So it's good to see you in the course. It's it
yes, ma'am.
it feels really good. Yeah. Nice. So yeah, so
Okay, thank
next,
you.
yeah, thank you, Aditi. So next we have, I can see, I'm just going alphabetical order. People are joining, so we'll just go with this list. So I can see Amitava Mukherjee, sir. So could you kindly introduce yourself? Sir, I guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was trying to unmute myself. See, I'm working in Tata Steel in presently in a new project in Ludhiana, where a greenfield, carbon neutral project is coming up. What interests me is Tata Steel, believes in very low use of plastic waste, and we follow three basic principles, that is reduce, recycle, and reuse. So that interested me in this course as to let me have a basic understanding as to what is the thought process and how what is the latest in the field of this thing, reducing the plastic waste, and what is the latest available. So that is interest in my course. I came across this course and thought that it is good to join.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Thank you. Your insights and your experience would also benefit this course through the
Yeah,
interaction. We would also learn. We are also looking forward to learn.
yeah, very much. It should be interactive both ways, I think. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So then I see Anant Chaudhary. Anant Chaudhary. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Anant.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm Anand from IAST Shippo. I'm part of pursuing my master in planning. And so the thing that ignited my interest toward this course was to learn about the services that are like essential for planning any of the city. So yeah, that was like my basic motto of joining this course.
Okay, wonderful. That's amazing. Great to have you here. So now I see Ashrbad Rath. Ashrbad Rath. If I'm pronouncing wrong, you can correct me.
No, no, it's fine.
Okay, great.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, I'm Asirvad Rath, currently pursuing my bachelor in planning in College of Engineering and Technology, Bhubaneswar.
Great.
So I am new to this field. I am just pursuing my bachelor's. I'm in second year. So I just want to explore and enhance my knowledge in this field. So that's all.
Okay, wonderful. That's nice. It's good to have you here too. Then I see Bharat Selvam. Bharat Selvam. No, no. Okay, so maybe next person. That Yeah, Bharat. Okay, great. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, currently doing B Plan in Anna University, Chennai. Okay, wonderful. So let's go to the next person then. That Dachani Munivel. Dachani Munivel. I think I'm pronouncing it rightly. No, okay. Double Valero Valrao.
Hi, hello everyone.
Yeah.
I'm Dhaval Bhalera. I have completed my urban planning from LPU, and
Okay.
recently I am engaged with Monad Serve as an engineering consultant, probably doing in infrastructure projects. So my motto was like to know the urban planning in transportation related to the road and railways.
Oh, okay. Great, great. So in that case, you should not miss out on our transportation course, which happens in the next run. It's not there in this semester. In the next semester, there's a
Okay.
course on advanced transportation, so you should not miss out on that. It would be interesting. So all these courses are linked. So this course is the base about all the urban services, and
Okay.
then coming into more detail, we have urban utilities, which talks about other water supply, sanitation, and
Yeah.
all. And then we've
Are we
also
are we including land acquisition aspect in this?
land. We'll no, so we have solid waste management. Land. We'll see to that in the
Okay, okay,
syllabus.
okay.
So right now, I'm not. I'm getting confused with whether it's there in this course or not. So I'll have to
Okay,
see that.
okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me just add more people. Yeah. Okay. So next, Femin Johnny.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. I am Femin Joni. I'm doing my bachelor's in geography in Madras Christian College in Chennai. From a young age onwards, I really liked about urban planning, and I like to know more about it and dream to pursue a career in urban planning. That's it.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's nice. So now we have Garima Singh. Okay, I think Garima messaged in the chat box. So now we have Greety Maria Thomas. Okay, no, let's just quickly go. I think yeah, okay, great, ma'am. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Hi, good evening all. Myself, Griti Maria. I'm currently doing my PhD in KTU, Kerala Technical University. So, as a part of my coursework, I'm doing this NPTEL course. Thank
Wonderful,
you.
wonderful, great. It's good to have you here. So thank you, ma'am. Now we greet then Kaushalya. Okay, I think Kaushalya just left off. Then Preeti Singh. Preeti Singh, no. Ritesh Kumar.
Hi, uh, myself Ritesh from Master in Urban and Regional Planning. I'm doing from Baroda, Parul University. And interesting means for this course, my brother suggested me that NTPL is something much interested, and other from professor from the different university are coming up from, and basically from IIT and ISS.
Yes.
So that's And yeah, urban planning is again my childhood dream, so I'm pursuing it right now. I did my architecture from SVIT Vasa, same from Ahmedabad, in 2012, and
Okay.
now in yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Good, good. Yes, this I hope this course will be helping you. So thank you. Now, Shal by Valaya. Shal Valaya. No, I don't see. Suranjana Chaudhary. Yes. I don't think I can hear you.
I think you can hear me now. Hello?
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. I'm an architect and urban planner. My urban planning degree is almost 20 years old. And right now I'm teaching B Arch and M Arch courses in a
Okay,
private college. I can say that this is kind of a refresher course for me. And I'm just it's an exposure to how these subjects are taught, what kind of things are being taught, and I'm also trying to find out where I stand, whether I remember all of these things after all these years, because with many of these topics I'm quite out of touch. Uh, so that's it. And I did go through the first week's lectures. I have a few questions. I have a feedback.
right,
I think maybe I can tell you now. It's a small thing.
right,
There's certain terms, like say today I was studying about the mortality rate and population projection. If you can find a way to give the link to a glossary, some
right,
authorized glossary, it'll be very helpful because not all of us, there are so many technical terms. Then in the first or second lecture, there was something called affirmative action.
yes, yes,
So, very people will be quite unfamiliar with all these things. So, if you give a list of glossary, it will be very helpful. You'll have fewer questions
right, right.
and
Yes,
fewer
yes.
confusions to clear. Okay, so
Okay, yeah, that's
that's
something
all.
we can look up to. True, that's a very valid point. Yes, something
Yeah, because it
for the
saves
future.
time for us. Not all of us are on the same page. With the attendees,
Right, right, right.
it'll
So,
help. Okay.
yeah, so I'm afraid in this run of the course, you might not see it probably next year because this is already frozen and uploaded or given to the authorities. So we don't have much in our hands right now. So, but yes, we'll definitely take this into consideration in the next run where we'll have some chance to edit the slides and all.
Yeah. Sure. Or maybe a separate list also with the assignment or some link. It may be shared. I don't know. There
Right,
may be
right.
some ways
Yes,
to do
yes, we
it.
can, we'll, yes, it makes sense. Yes, something.
Since you are having all these meetings, if you are having weekly meetings,
Right,
in the
right.
minutes of the meetings also you can share.
Oh, yeah. So, all these meetings which we would be having will be recorded and it would be made available to you. So, all the recordings of that will also be there. Yes, in addition, something as minutes or some notes is good. So, all the slides. So, so right now we have not got into the discussion. So, in the discussion, I'll be
Mhm.
discussing some questions, and all those questions or answers will be given as a slide presentation. A PDF would be circulated. So, that would also be made available.
And is there a forum where we can post our questions?
Oh, yes, yes,
Or
of
this
course.
meeting is.
So, yes, so in the, let me just
I
go
didn't
back.
see a link. I didn't see a link. Maybe I missed it.
Okay, let me just show that to you. So, okay, so if this is my screen, yeah. So in this, you have this. So this is your Swayam portal where you have the course. So under NPTEL, we are searching for urban services planning. So in this, you have an option of ask a question.
Okay,
So
I'll explore it then.
yeah, that's it.
I
So you just
probably
need
yeah.
to ask a
Probably.
question over here. So it'll be directed to the TAs of the course. And if you want to specifically ask
Okay.
me something, you can probably put it over there that you're asking me because by default, I don't get emails of this. There are other TAs who would be handling it. But if it's something related to what we are discussing, then you can direct the question to me and then I'll get it. Right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great. So then we have Vaibhav Pal.
Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, Vaibhav, you're
So,
audible.
myself, Vaibhav, and pursuing UPSC. One day, while reading about the programs of government and initiatives, so I came to know about this Swayam portal, and here I saw this thing. It is related to my environment chapter, and it is helpful for me during my preparation, and even after preparation, I can implement it in services. So, with that purpose, I came here.
Great, great. Wonderful. It's good to have you here. Uh,
Thank you, ma'am.
yeah, I think Vaishnavi messaged. Yeah, so Vaishnavi is already messaged. I'm an architect. I did postgraduate in urban development, looking for an opportunity to planning. I'm really excited. Okay, wonderful. Good to have you here, Vaishnavi. Then Venkateshan Serkar. Venkatesh has also messaged. Okay. Okay, great. Wonderful. It's good to have you here. Then Vignesh Mahadevan.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, yes.
Good evening to everyone. So I'm from Hyderabad. I'm a junior architect practicing in National Institute of Urban Management. So to deepen my knowledge in this field, I joined this course. That's it.
Great, great. Wonderful. So I think we have the
Mm.
last person, Vinod MK. Yeah, Vinod MK doing PhD in NIT Calicut as part of coursework. Okay, wonderful. So it's good to know that several colleges are taking NPTEL courses for coursework and the credits can be transferred. So it's wonderful. So what I understand is we have a mix of people from students to PhD scholars to working professionals. So that's good because it's going to help our interactions. So now let me share my screen so that we can get started with today's session. Yeah, so is my presentation visible right now? Urban Services Planning Week 1. Can someone confirm?
It is not visible.
It's not visible.
No, not yet.
Okay, let's wait for a few minutes. It's showing me that it's already sharing.
We
So
can actually see your Google Meet site, but not the link, the
Yes.
other page.
right, right. Let me share it once more. Yeah, so these are some of the technical glitches. Okay, now I can share, I think. Is it visible now?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
is it if I, oopsie, where did that go? Sorry. Yeah, so if I make this into presentation mode, can you see the presentation now, or can you see the PowerPoint? What is it? Is it full
We
screen?
can see the PowerPoint. Yeah, it's not full screen. It's not full screen.
It's not full
PowerPoint.
screen.
PowerPoint, not a full screen.
Okay, so which means I have to share the window itself. So sorry, just trying it once more. Window itself. Is it full screen now?
No.
What are you saying?
Uh,
We can see
that
the Google Meet thing only. Yeah.
yeah.
That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. It was working. One sec. Let me fix. I think should I open it in a different device? Okay, just why is that happening? Okay, I guess we will do with this itself then. Yeah, this should go. Oh, if that's the case, I think this is visible, right? So it's I think I'll go with the PowerPoint itself if that's the case. NPTEL explaining the portal, your screen wasn't visible. Oh, was it not visible when I showed
Yes, it was not visible. I was thinking it's like
Oh,
that.
Initially, it was
great.
visible.
It was it
Initially, it was visible.
it was visible for some, it was not visible for others, was it?
No, no, it wasn't visible.
Not visible for anyone.
Oh, right. You should have pointed at that time itself. Wait, but
We thought it was like our internet mistake. So
Yeah, same here.
oh, fine, fine. Wait, let me check right now. Uh, right. Okay, now wait, I guess. Is my presentation visible now?
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
we can notice it. Yeah.
So at the same time, where did this go? Is the like Google Chrome visible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Great.
yeah.
So, okay, I'll just say that once more. So, the first question on where where can we find the assignments? So, this is the Swayam portal, NPTEL. We have Urban Services Planning. So, you'll have to log in and like the account which you have created. In that, you have all the lectures weekly. So every week. So this is week's one's lecture. Behind in the end, you have week one quiz. So this you will have time to attempt till. So in this one, I think you have till tomorrow. So this is week one assignment. Oh, you have till February 7th. Oh, that's good. That's good. I thought it's ending day after tomorrow. So which means 2 weeks you have to attempt one assignment, and it's very simple questions. So we'll be discussing some questions very similar to these questions today. So that's one thing. Then the other one about asking a doubt. So this is where you go to ask a question, and yeah, so you can start a new conversation and then ask your doubt over here. So yeah, so these doubts will be answered by some of the TAs. So we have got 2 TAs per course. They will be handling it. But if you want to direct something to me, you can type it over here. So yeah, so that was what was explained. Now presentation, full screen mode, that's visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so I think I was
Yes.
doing a wrong sharing before. Great. So we can start. So I think some of you joined a bit late. So I'm just introducing myself again. So I am Jeslu Celine Jacob. I am a Prime Minister's Research Fellow at IIT Kharagpur. I started as a PMRF Fellow in 2019. So now this is my 5th year. I'm almost trying to complete. So I've been working with Professor Devapratham Pandit for the past 5 years. So we work in the City Future Lab. So City Future Lab, this course is also from City Future Lab. And yeah, so I've been handling previously I was the this live so this live tutorials are brought to you by Prime Minister's Research Fellowship. So for all courses, different Prime Minister's Research Fellows would be interacting with the students, and these some of the questions or doubts would be sorted in these interactions itself. Apart from that, in some courses, sometimes the main professor would also be handling additional live sessions also. So those would be informed to you as and when those are scheduled. So I was teaching I was working as a live NPTEL TA for the course Urban Utilities last semester. So now this semester I'm doing Urban Services and Planning. So that's it. So with that, let's begin let's discuss some sample questions. So before we begin, one more small thing. So we'll go question by question. So as I said, let's make it interactive. So in every question, if you have any doubts pertaining to that question or something related to that question, please feel free to ask. And overall, after we finish all the questions, so I guess I've got some 18 questions today. So after we finish all that, we'll have some 10 minutes to discuss any other problems or any other questions which you have. So let's get started. So this is the first question. So problem one, which of the following function domain does the core service public health come under? So we have option A, public safety and health services, public B, public works and planning services, C, leisure services, and D, support services. So this is a very straightforward question. So can any one of you answer this question?
Yeah, it's A, public safety and health services.
Very good. Yeah, it's A, public safety and health service. So it's right there on in the wordings itself. So there's nothing much to look. But but what are these core domains? Can you recollect how many core domains were there? There's a core service public health. So so there are different functional core domains. So this is the core public health which they've asked. But apart from that, there are different functional domains or core functional domains we were discussing. Anybody remember how much was the number or anything?
4.
4, yeah, 4. I think so even if you put in the chat box, I might not be able to see because I'm going full screen. So it would be good if you can speak out. I don't see a chat box when I'm presenting. So yeah, so these are the different 4 functional domains, and then you have other 17 core services. So this is one of the core service which was asked, and these are 4 functional domains. So we have public safety and health, public works and planning services, leisure services, and support services. So I guess this is simple. Any doubts in this question? Shall we move to the next question?
Yes.
Yes. So the next question is, which of the following services does not come under public works and planning services domain of urban services?
Libraries and park.
Option C.
Libraries and parks. Yeah, very good. Because we just saw that which comes. So what does libraries and parks come under?
As an institutional
Institutional. Okay. Any other?
and
We saw.
recreational.
Sorry.
It's a
Leisure.
recreational and institutional.
Recreational institution. So it's termed as leisure
Recreational.
services. Yeah. So it's termed as leisure. The functional domain is leisure services, and in that comes your parks. And so recreation comes under that. But so these terminologies are a bit important. So the terms are termed that way. Understanding wise, yes, it comes under it. Libraries can be a part of an institution, or it can be an institutional establishment. But the service sector that it comes under, it's called the leisure services. And if it comes to other public facilities, then it's called a support service. So it can be called a public service, which we often do. We all often term it that way, like public buildings or other buildings. We always say that it's a public facility or a public service. But these, under the functional domain, these come under the support services. Right. So moving on to the next question. Match the service types with the correct service and choose the correct answer. So we have the service type and services on the right hand side. So we have line service, quasi-line service, and meta service. And the service type, there's fiscal zoning, public health, and zoning. So let's go up. First one, P, line service. What does that fall under? Okay, so there are different services which we have discussed this briefly in our lecture also. So it can be a labor intensive service or a capital investment service. So that we have discussed. So in that, along with these uh, segregation, there's also based on how the service is delivered to the people or how it reaches the people. It's again further separated. So there's line service, quasi-line service, and meta service. So by default, line service means you're providing it throughout a region. So it's completely
June.
it's given. Then you have something. So you have quasi-line service and you have meta service. So I'll just explain this. So the answer to this, before we go into the answer, this slide would help in a better understanding. So we have line service where all the water, fire, streets, housing. So which means it's given in a similar manner throughout a region. So it's a line. So you're, for instance, in water we can easily understand. So if we say that water is a line service, you can understand. Similar is the case for fire or streets. So because for that entire region, it's given as a line service. Then we have a quasi line service and we have meta service. So if you observe in quasi line service, there is some amount of physical boundary on the surface or based on the spatial planning there is some boundary or a quasi it's a quasi line, which means for this region this service is going to be this way. For instance, we have it's type of a staff service. So for one region, for instance, the tax in one region may differ from the tax in another region. So you know that there can be some variations which can be imposed on different regions. So for instance, the rent scheme in different regions or the price of land in different regions, so all these vary. So that means it's a quasi line service, which means it's continuous, but at the same time, there's some separation based on certain physical or spatial boundaries. Then we have meta services, which again is based on certain financial boundaries, a financial separation, for instance, the jurisdiction or the finance controlling that might vary. So based on this, the services which are provided or the facilities which are there might vary. Or the so that's why we have the physical zoning over there, which means it's something which involves money or based on the revenue generated in that region, some services which are provided varies. So these are the different separations. So now let's see whether we can answer. So we have line service, which
Public.
is yes, okay, I think the answer is shown here. So which is public health is a line service. Then we have quasi line services, which comes
Zoning.
under zoning or the main geography based zoning. Then we have meta services, which are related to physical zoning. Fiscal zoning, yeah. So that's it. So a very, very similar question, which is, so this was given by William C. Baer, these divisions. So which of the following service component comes under the line service according to William C. Baer? So this was one question. This was a question which appeared in one of the exams, competitive exams before. So that's why I put a similar question along with it. So I guess now we are in a position to answer this. So which is the answer
Police.
for this?
Polish.
Correct.
Police.
Yeah, polis is the answer. So we have already discussed this. Right. So the same explanation. Now, question 5. Which of the following responsibilities does the 12th schedule of the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act cover? A. Vital statistics including registration of births and deaths. B. Regulation of land use and construction of buildings. C. Slum improvement and upgradation. D. Poverty alleviation. So, uh, yeah. So, what is the 74th Amendment? What did that mainly do?
Municipalities were added.
Very good, yes. So there was a decentralization, and some powers can be given to so the decision to delegate certain powers to municipalities was taken in the 74th Constitutional Amendment. And what does the 12th schedule do?
There are schedules in constitution. So 12th schedule was added when 74th constitutional amendment was done.
Very good, yes. So 12th schedule is linked with this 74th Amendment, which gives the statutory norms or conditions under which these local bodies should work. So urban local bodies, we call it. So the rules or the method of functioning of these urban local bodies were defined in the 12th schedule. So now with this understanding, I think we'll be able to answer this. So
AB.
because now we know that it's pertaining to urban local bodies. So is urban local body responsible for these? So we can simplify the question in that aspect. So vital statistics, including registration of births and deaths, does it come under the purview of urban local bodies?
Yes.
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 All.
All. Yes. Somebody says all. Very good. Yes. So regulation of land use and construction of building, that also comes under urban local body. We'll have to get the approval from our corporation or municipality before we undertake any project. Some improvement and upgradation also comes under that. And for urban poverty elevation also, urban local bodies are responsible to come up with strategies. So yes, all is the right answer. All four of these are responsibilities of the urban local body, and that is governed by this 12th schedule, which was brought in the 74th Amendment Act. Okay, great. So these are some of the other responsibilities which were brought in. So urban planning, about roads and bridges, regulation of land use. So this was there as one of the options. Slum improvement. Apart from whatever we discussed, there are also about these burial grounds, cremation grounds. All this also come under their purview. Cattle pounds, prevention of cruelty to animals. So we have noticed animal welfare committees and all those. So all these also come under this. Regulation of slaughterhouses. So urban poverty elevation was already included. Then we have planning for economical and social development, promotion of cultural and educational aspects. Yes, now this is again an important aspect, safeguarding the interest of weaker sections. So these when before the 74th Amendment, it was very difficult to take care of these because as a center and state, it was very difficult. So that's when all these participatory planning came into action, and urban local bodies essentially do that they want to involve more people. So protection of weaker sections, giving understanding their problems, and planning certain facilities for them, all are comes under the responsibility of these urban local bodies. And then yes, statistics including registration of birth and deaths. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Identify the true statements concerning municipal services planning. So A, each municipal service is unique and planning strategies for these services varies. B, labor intensive services can be easily modified and adjusted with change in demand and delivery standards. C, capital investment services are usually repetitive. D, distribution pattern for capital investment services can be dependent on feedback and responses by the service recipients. So let's go option. First one, each municipal service is unique and planning strategies for these services varies. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, true.
Yes, it's true.
No.
So this we have discussed in our lecture also in detail, saying that we cannot have a one fits all solution, but for each service, because it involves people, it involves land, it involves facilities. So it is it is unique. We need to plan accordingly. Now B, labor intensive services can be easily modified and adjusted with change in demand and delivery standards. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Labor intensive services can be easily modified. Yes. So that was one of the difference between labor intensive service and capital investment services, which we discussed. So in labor intensive, because it's people who are involved, we feel that it's not working properly, after some time we can modify it. Or you want the person to do some extra work, or the task assigned needs to be modified, we can do that. But in a capital investment, that's not possible, because the design period, or so we call it design period, which means the period in which, up to which the facility must last, will be much higher for a capital investment project, because you're investing that money to buy some equipment. So usually it comes in, capital investment projects are ones where you have a heavy machinery, or an establishment which has been set up, or an institution which has been set up, which means that cannot be modified much. So that is a difference between labor intensive and capital investment intensive services. So yes, so these both are correct. Now comes C, capital intensive services are usually repetitive. Is that right?
No, no.
So what is repetitive? Is labor intensive
Mm.
repetitive?
Labor, yeah.
Correct. Labor intensive is repetitive, but capital investment is a one-time investment. And if you want to change it again, you'll have to wait for about 20 to 30 years, which is usually considered to be a good design period. Or else, if the facility doesn't last, which means it doesn't last till the design period, then we'll change it. So this is a wrong statement. So which means A and B are right, C is wrong. Now D, distribution pattern for capital investment services can be dependent on feedback and responses by the service recipients. Is that
No,
right?
no.
No. Okay. Uh, uh, why do you feel so? You don't need people's participation in capital intensive services?
Oh, yeah, most of the time, these are done by the diplomats or the policymakers, so they don't include for public for this kind of suggestion.
Okay. Okay, so coming to that point, so your answer is right that this is a wrong statement, that distribution pattern for capital investment services can be dependent on, it cannot be dependent on feedback and responses, because the same reason, it's not repetitive, which means you cannot take the feedback. So there cannot be a feedback response curve. Based on the response you change it, you get the feedback. That is only possible for a labor intensive service, because you can change, because it's repetitive, you have the possibility of changing. But the other part, where you said that the decisions are taken by diplomats or policymakers, and that does not involve people's participation, may be not a very right way to look at it. Because yes, it is taken by diplomats or policymakers, but there is also provision for involving people in that. So that's what we've discussed also as participatory planning, where or the bottom top approach, where people's requirements, or their aspirations about the space, or their understanding, that is also taken into consideration. Based on that only a facility is set. And for that facility, if it is a capital intensive facility that you're setting in, or the service that you're providing in, then it's locked for a few years. But that doesn't mean that it's independent of people's wishes, or what people want. Eventually all these service planning are done for the people. And as discussed, that is why we have these local bodies also, local representatives also, who are responsible on understanding what is needed in that particular region. And then the proposal is given, and these in the standing committees evaluate the proposal, and then you have the commissioner who would execute the proposal. So yes, people it is involved in both capital investment and capital intensive and labor intensive. But the change based on the response is not possible in a capital intensive. Maybe after 20 years it's possible, but then not immediately, which is there in a labor intensive. So yes, so with that, the answer of this is A and B, which is
Yeah.
so A, and so that's option A. It works out to option A. Any doubts on this question? Shall we move to the next question? Yeah. So we'll be moving on to the next question. Problem 7. Match the type of planning approaches with the most appropriate feature in the description column and choose the correct answer. So, yeah. So this I just discussed this question partially in the previous one, so it should be answered easily. So, planning approach starts with inclusive planning, participatory planning, integrated infrastructure and service planning. And the description is: first one, special emphasis on women, elderly, and disabled. Second, enhances service deliverability and accountability. And third, ensures incorporation of people's attitude and perceptions. So
Option
first,
C.
option C. Wow, you worked it out. Okay, great. So let's go. P, inclusive planning. Which is that?
Special emphasis on Men and
Include
adults.
special emphasis on women, elderly, and disabled persons. Yeah, correct. So inclusive planning involves special emphasis on the backward sections or people who are not usually included. So here, the statement is given as women, elderly, disabled, but other backward sections also, it covers that also. Very good. Then we have participatory planning. So what does that best describe?
So ensure incorporations of people attitude and perceptions.
Very good. Yeah. So participatory planning, you have people participating in the whole planning. So their attitudes and their perceptions are also included. So that's participatory planning. So it should ensure incorporation. Very good. That is three. Then we have integrated infrastructure and service planning. So the last one enhances service deliverability and accountability. So now this is important because uh, if infrastructure and service planning is not integrated, so we know that there would be a mismatch. Like a facility would be built, but it would not be used. So your capital investment is being blocked over there. At the same time, the services or the labor intensive work which needs to be done for that is not done in a timely manner. So the facility is not lasting. A very good example is that of our waste disposal system. So we know that, so that's the other way. So the service planning is working. People, so we have people collecting the waste, but somewhere in the loop, maybe the infrastructure is not adequate enough uh, in order to incinerate or recycle the waste or do so. Because of that, it's getting dumped and piled up, and it's causing a lot of problem. So this integration, it's a very important factor which we're still yet to handle or tackle. So this is where I guess a lot of problems are happening, where this integration of infrastructure and service planning. Now this is and it's a problem. So we can look forward of ways of doing this. So yes, so that works out to option C, I guess. Rightly, somebody initially itself answered that very well. So shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we move on to the next question, I had some explanation to this, but since you already answered it, I'm not going into a lot of detail, but I'll just briefly touch upon this and then go. So this is what we have learned in our lecture. So we have different types of services. So it can be based on the nature. This we've discussed, capital intensive or labor intensive, based on the technology. So for instance, if it's the waste management, solid waste management, then we can say the different methods. So what is the technology which is used? Then we have distribution pattern. Is it distributed equally, or how do you distribute? Where is it located? How are you distributing the facility? Then who are the target audience? Is it so? For instance, if it's inclusive planning, then you're targeting on a subpopulation to come up so that they can also be part of that. So who's the target population that you're targeting? Or in the target population also comes, is it one particular region that you're targeting, or is it for the entire region you're targeting? And then you have the financial aspects. So yeah, so this is what we have discussed. I'm not going into detail. This is also there in the lecture, so I'm not going into details. So problem 8, identify the true statements concerning capital intensive project characteristics. So option A, operating budget covers the expense associated with maintenance operations. C, the capital investment, so this is capital intensive. Capital intensive location choice depends on the population and the land availability. C, capital budget covers expenses associated with recurring activities. And D, capital intensive location choice does not influence residential location choice. So first one, operating budget covers the expenses associated with maintenance operations. Yes, no?
Yes,
Okay.
should be.
Yes, maintenance operation is also considered. Okay, we'll come to that. Then we have capital
Yes.
intent. Yes. Uh, Sorry, I couldn't hear. Is B a right answer?
B. Yeah.
B is right. Okay, so some
B
B
is
is
right.
right. Fine. C is right. Capital budget covers expenses associated with recurring activities.
Yes.
No, should not be.
No, it is.
Okay, fine. So then, if recurring activities are not there, then how is maintenance being included?
Okay, actually, see, there is one capital expenditure and another revenue expenditure. So operating budget, I take it as, that's part of the revenue.
Okay. Okay. Right. Fine. We'll come to that. Let's see all the options. The last one is intensive projects. Location choice does not influence residential location choice. Is that right?
No.
No. Okay. So this is the answer. So we have A and B, which are right. So as rightly said, you have the operating budget. So if you observe over here, there's capital budget and there's operating budget. So if we have operating budget, then the maintenance is also or the included. But in your capital budget, the recurring activities or the maintenance is not included. Then the other one, B, this we have already discussed. The location choice depends on population and land availability. So this is what I was discussing before when it was said that the policymakers do and people's choice is not important. So no, it is important. So based on the population, based on the land availability, based on the preference of the or what is required for that region. So the so here the location choice is being dependent on the population and land availability. So similarly, the facility choice would also be dependent. And the location choice does not influence residential location choice. Because so residential location choice by itself is a completely different aspect. This is where people decide where to live. So this may get influenced. So residential location choice may get influenced by adjacent facilities. But the location of the project, like for instance, your let's take the example of solid waste management facility itself, because we'll be discussing that in this whole uh, session also. We'll be discussing that as a good example. So for that, it does not have to do where people are located in order. So that just depends upon the land availability. You have land and we'll use certain other measures. So this location does not influence a residential location choice. Right. So so these were so this is what was so this is the operating budget, which calculates the recurrent activities, and the capital budget, this is only for building facilities. And now these are the location choice. So what are the factors which influence? So the technical criteria, then the local context, that is what I was explaining. So based on the local requirement of the people, so the local context is there, so influences. Now, so the last one, this CI location choice influences residential location choice and urban. So this one, so this one is written, it does not influence the residential location choice. So that's the difference, or that's the catch over here. So the residential location choice can be influenced by this CI location choice later. So it influences residential location choice and urban structure, which comes up later. Right. So any doubts in this question?
No.
Let's go to the next question. Match the following participatory planning approaches and their description. So we have community design charter. So what does that? Okay, let's see everything. Then advisory committees, demonstrations and transformations, focus groups. So first one, groups of citizens, stakeholders discusses on various aspects about a project plan, including their concerns, which is recorded and analyzed to get inputs. The second one, physical models for visualizing and understanding impacts, actual real transformations for experiencing change. Now, third one, knowledgeable and experienced members guide the planning process. And last one, multi-day interactive meetings, workshops, and site visits. So first one, what does that match to? Community design.
So it's a multiple day interactive
It's
meetings
a
work.
multiple day interactive meetings and workshops. So we have discussed this in our lecture also in detail. So you go to a place and then uh, overall after the interactive session, the requirements of the people or the problems that they're facing would come up. Now, this is mainly done because if you individually go and ask what are your problems, it's very difficult to understand what the problems are, because sometimes people don't even know that this is the problem or what is the root cause behind the problem. They would, because what we see in the surface is different from what is there behind. If we take a simple example of not having a pipe water supply in a region, so maybe the people over there might be experiencing certain health issues because of this. Probably carrying water from a far away location, they might be experiencing certain health issues because of that. So immediately when we ask, the problem would be, what would surface out would probably be the health issues and lack of hospitals, and these aspects might come out. But with multi-day interaction, you can go to the root cause and understanding what is causing problems. People, is the region hygienic? Is the waste treatment being done properly? Is the water supply adequate enough? So then you can go into the root problem also. So that's why all these part this one multi day interactive sessions are organized in order to get this. And once you get this, then you can it's taken up. So that's why the again that's the whole reason why participatory planning was also important. So that was the first one. Second, advisory committees.
Knowledgeable and experienced member guide the
Yes.
planning process.
Yes, very good. So that's there in the term itself, we know. So it's from knowledge. So they advise. So these are certain committees which are formed, and only an experienced audience is selected for this. Very good. Then we have demonstrations and transformations.
Physical model for visualization and understanding the impacts, actual real transformation for experiencing change.
Very good. Yeah. So that's also there because you're demonstrating and showing it to people that this is, so you have certain small prototypes or certain small presentations or something so that they can visualize in that. So this usually happens when a redevelopment project happens. People are first shown this on how the space is going to be redeveloped, because there has been certain studies which show that when people are not aware on how things are going to be or what is a change which is being which is coming up, and if people are not so the study usually shows that people are not satisfied with the new environment which is given to them. So this has been the case in one of the slum redevelopment projects in Trivandrum, I mean, I was part of a case study which said that after the new space was given, people were not very happy with this whole setting, that they were again going back to the living setup which they were there. So some visualization, some we should make them understand on this is what is benefiting, or if their lifestyle changes, this is how things are going to change. So before that actual transformation, some models to show them. Then in the actual transformation also, some participatory planning should be there so that people feel that this is done for them, and it's not a top down approach, or it's not being taken by the authorities and they're forced to adhere to it, but it's something which they wanted and the authorities have done it for them. So that's why demonstrations are important. Then we have last, focus group discussions. So
The
that
book.
comes under this one, stakeholder discussions on various aspects. So this is a very focus group discussions are a very common method of understanding what people want. So that's not just not only used in this participatory planning approach, but for any, it's a standard research methodology which is used in order to understand people's perception about certain things. So an idea is introduced. So what happens is multiple people are put together. So it's very similar to the multi-day interactive meetings, but then in the multiple day interactive meetings, you are starting off without knowing what the problem is. You're trying, you go deeper and deeper, and then you come out with the problem. But in focus group discussions, mostly a topic is introduced. So you're given a topic like about this facility. What do you think about this facility? Like, is your water supply facility? What do you think about it? Can this be made in this manner? What do you feel? So then people discuss about what they feel, why they feel this is better, why they feel it's not required. So that's the main difference between this interactive meetings and workshops and focus. So focus group discussions for a small it's people are divided into small groups, and usually a topic is introduced or a problem is introduced, and then their concerns are recorded, and then based on the discussions some planning strategies or approaches are introduced, and after that the authorities take it up, and then it's again discussed. So it usually lasts for about like 2 3 hours. One discussion is done, right? So yeah, so this is the matching. So we have rightly matched. Any doubt? Shall we proceed on to the next question?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So question number 10, identify the true statements concerning different planning approaches. So A, bottom up approach approaches are more inclusive in nature. B, top-down approaches are more inclusive in nature. C, feedback from citizens and their representatives helps in participatory planning. D, integration of infrastructure and services enhances service delivery. So A, is that right?
Except B, all are correct.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So except B, all are correct means A, C, and D are correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Top-down approaches are more inclusive in nature is a false statement because we've discussed that. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah. So in top-down approach, what happens is the decision comes from the top, from the head, and then it goes to the subheads who look into methods of how that can be executed, and then it goes down and finally reaches the people. And people's participation might not be much in that in that decision making, which is why people won't feel inclusive. Exactly what I was discussing before. So that is why bottom up approach is what we always need, and that involves more of people's participation, and that's more inclusive. Then C, feedback from citizens and their representatives helps in participatory planning. Yes, that statement itself is understandable. Then integration of infrastructure. Yeah, so this also we have discussed. This is a major problem which is there, where infrastructure and services are not integrated. So that's something which we need to look into. Right. So question 11, which of the following functions are covered under the Model Municipal Act of 2003 by Government of India? So A, core functions, water supply, drainage, sewerage, solid waste management, roads, etc. B, taxation, user charges, fees and fines, development charge, advertisement and other tax and tolls. And C, accounting, budgetary functions. All of them?
Yes.
All of them? Sure. Taxation is included by modern municipal law.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
I
local
think all are
taxation is
correct. Yeah.
included.
Correct. Yes. So under the modern municipal law of 2023, all of them are included. Now, once GST was introduced, all the tax collecting power or the authority to make tax collection went to center and state. And from there, that's allotted to the municipalities or corporations. So that one change has happened. But still, if some small taxes are to be collected, they can request for it and then done. But the main power of tax collection has now under GST gone back to the state and the center, and the power which the municipalities before had on setting the revenue and all that has been a bit more limited right now. Right. So that's why this is specifically mentioned that under this law of 2003, these all are there. Right. So so these are the different functions or the responsibilities and the authorities that municipal council has. So it has the uh, authority to recruit staff, do the core functions, implementation of state finance, then yeah, assets and liabilities, inventory, tax collection. So this is what we discussed: tax and user charges. Then we have private sector and NGO participation. So all the public-private participation, all that can also be brought in. State municipal regulatory commission. So they are in charge of setting the user charges, service standards, everything. And yeah, so municipal licenses. So right,
Can you
let's
touch
go.
upon that NGO part a little more? Because over a period of time, I find that NGO participation has increased and at various level in panchayat level, and they are welcoming participation from the private sector and NGO. Like
Yes,
in Ludhiana project where I'm working, they have given a list of things to be done for the villages, including sewage and making it plastic free, educating them about the various practices which makes a living area comfortable. So just your thought on that.
yeah. So yes, you rightly pointed out. So right now, this is given a lot of importance on NGOs participating, even private sectors participating. So we have discussed about public-private partnerships in this lecture. I guess it's there. So there are different methods by which that can be done. Like the whole public facility can be sold out to a private partner or some NGOs coming in and working for that, or it can be given partially where it's owned by the public sector, and then it's given uh, to run the program. It's given to certain private sector or NGO. So I think there's a question also on that. We'll come, but yes, as rightly pointed out, right now local bodies are also looking for uh, external participation, so that different so the advantage I see is that they can focus on one particular thing, whereas the government just becomes a overall monitoring uh, authority, and then different authorities like NGOs or private sectors are given the responsibility of doing one particular service. So then the service delivery deliverables have also, the quality of the deliverables have also increased over time. So we can see a lot of new infrastructure projects coming up have been taken under this public private partnerships, or NGOs also participating. For instance, if you look in Delhi, there are so many. For instance, there's these CEPW, I think, Center of, and so there are a lot of NGOs who even make policies for the government. So they collaborate, and the policies are also they do the survey, they do the participatory. They get the feedback from the people, and based on this, what are the strategies to be involved in the policies? All these. So as an advisory body, also certain NGOs are functioning. I'm not remembering the name of certain NGOs, but there are so many which have been. Right now, there's a boom, as rightly said. That it's government is promoting that more.
There
And
are two of whom I know. The one is this BAP in Pune, and other is Hunarsala Foundation in Kutch Bhuj. They have done many government work where they try to converge the different two policy, and in convergence they work more
hmm
the in urban area.
Yes, yes. So there's a lot. Yeah. So I can give you more examples like this. For instance, so I am from Kerala. So most of the airports which are coming up in Kerala, so the Cochin International Airport started as a public-private partnership. So usually, which was previously done with done by Airport Authority, slowly got like it's given out. So it's again a public-private partnership. So the Cochin International Airport Trust Limited, it's called CR. So that's another partnership they're doing. So, and not just NGOs, but apart from private sectors also, more partnerships are being invited by the government, which is a very good thing. So these facilities, when they are serving these facilities, and government just have to monitor them and ensure that it's done properly. So this decentralization is helping a lot in that. Right. So let's go to the next question. Match the type of plans and the most appropriate plan periods and choose the correct answer. So we have perspective plan, master plan, annual plan, and local area plan. So yeah, so perspective plan, I think two options can be a bit
5
confusing.
to 20 years.
20
Sorry,
to 30 years.
5
Perspective plan 20 to 30 years.
perspective plan 20 to 30 years. Okay, then master plan.
That will be 20 to 30 years.
Master plan, yeah. So this is not I wouldn't say this is a very good way. The options are not a very good way of representing, because both perspective plan and master plan is usually designed for 20 to 30 years. So but master plan, you say that it's for 20 to 30 years. It's okay. Let's come to that. I know. Annual plan
For 1 year.
1 year, by in the name itself is that. Local area plan for 5
That's
to
to 20 years.
20 years. Yeah. So so
My
what
my
is
doubt here,
yeah.
is how can a local plan be so? I mean, 5 to 20 years. Because now another thing that was emerging is that now with the improvement of technology and absolutely real time data coming, should we wait for such long to make a correction if we if
No.
we have
So that's
faulted
what
in planning?
this is. Yeah, definitely not. This is a very, very long period, in fact. And again, after 20 years, it should never be there. Like within 5 years, it should ideally be changed. But our that's what this is. These are places where our policy should also change. Right now, as per our current planning policy, this is how it is set. So perspective, again, the perspective plan also, because it's always set for 20 to 30 years, even in the 20 years, whatever has been set as a target is not, in some most of the cases, is not being achieved also. So in one aspect, the perspective plan is not met, and on the other aspect, the there are so many changes which are happening, which means your perspective plan is becoming obsolete even before it is starting to get implemented. So, or halfway through it is getting obsolete. So yes, the frequency ideally needs to be changed, and local area plan, definitely, yeah, as rightly pointed out, at least in 5 years it needs to be changed. This is a
Should be
very broad.
updated every 5 years.
It is, yes. So it is updated every 5 years, but then as per this, so again, different regions, it can be there. So we have the 5 year plans which are updated every 5 years, but there are certain plans which need not be updated every 5 years also. So that's also there. So I guess, yeah, that these are certain loopholes which are there in the current
Ma'am, actually,
planning policy.
as I have read, any plan, every plan is implemented in two phases. One is static phase, and another is dynamic phase. So, static phase, like we have fixed certain aim, and we have to achieve that aim until the end of that plan. And dynamics are those plans like which changes we have to make during the duration of that plan.
Okay, great. Yes, that's yeah, that's good. I was not very much aware of was there a statutory division like static and dynamic plan, but that's a very insightful information. Yeah,
No, ma'am. There is no such official
Vaibhav,
static or
can
dynamic
you mute
portion.
yourself, Vaibhav, please?
yes.
Ma'am, I was saying that there is no such official static or dynamic portion.
Okay.
Like we can see those plans or distribution in that way.
Right, right, right. So you're proposing like something like this should be done. Is that?
Yes. Things
Yes.
happen, but not in professional, not in like that manner, that pre-decided manner. It
Right, right.
happens even now.
Right, right. Yes, some sort of regular. So a simple method it's been discussed also recently on just looking at how much. So our problem in mainly lies in not knowing what we have achieved. Or for instance, there's no post survey in order to see how much is done or what is currently the status of it, and what needs to be done based on the current status. So that monitoring mechanism, so that's where the problem is starting. So the plan is done, but there it's limited. Like there are, I'm not saying there are no monitoring mechanisms, but monitoring mechanisms are a bit limited, and based on that, that adaptive mechanism is not coming. So as you rightly said, yes, if we have some dynamic mechanism to keep modifying this, that would be the best thing that's possible. But for that, first we need to have like what period would you monitor? So that's where again this comes. So the idea of local area plan is to integrate and see the facilities in different regions. So the plan is that it integrates different facilities in different regions, and then makes a plan for that region to say for this many years this is the development goal which will be achieved over here, and this is what will be executed over here. Now if you don't monitor that within, say, in this it stays 5 years itself. So if you don't monitor that, the minimum is 5 years, 5 years, then you are again, so you're not monitoring it in 5 years. If you're monitoring it in 20 years, then again that's becoming obsolete, right? So the provision for that dynamism is not coming. What would be the time period for that dynamism? That's another challenge which needs to be addressed in our planning policy. So as rightly said, with advancement in technology and all, etc., it should probably be brought down to 2 years, so that some monitoring is done, and then in the fifth year another updation is done. So that
Actually,
again
it must be done in every 2 years or even shorter than that. I mean, we should not get bogged down by whatever is written in the number of years. I'm sure it is being done very much in
exactly, it's,
regularly.
I'm not saying it's not done. So that's where it lies. So different municipalities or different corporations have different way of operating, so even their heads are different, the way they function is different, so they can set their own rules on how often it needs to be done. But so this one which is given in the main norms, this is the norm. So that's why you have a provision. So some people, like some municipality, you want to do it frequently, they're doing it. But are they, if they're not doing it, they're not violating any law. So no action can be taken. So here we are mainly talking about what is the standard which is given. But if the standard itself is modified, then you can ensure that everyone is doing that way. That is what is being discussed right now. Right. So yes, let's so this we have discussed. Let's go to the next question. So before I move to the next question, we are almost ending. Yeah, it's past 8. Am I going too fast or the pace is good, right?
It's okay.
Okay, fine. So
Okay,
let's go to problem 14. City sanitation plan is an example of, it's an and, not and, yeah, an example of perspective plan, development plan, local area plan, special purpose plan.
A special purpose plan.
It's a special purpose plan, yes. So it's been planned for that sanitation action itself. So different plans we discussed in the previous question. So this is an example of special purpose plan. Now, question 15, match the following. Member of the core team handling sewage waste management. Okay, so this is given as an example. So the idea is you have the commissioner or the head or the head of the accounts department. So in the lecture, since we took this particular example of solid waste management, we are just bringing that up here again. So handling the solid waste So what's it? So the question basically asks us, what's the role of the commissioner? What's the role of the department head? And what's the role of the account head? So different roles are given: revenue and expenditure, baseline and gap analysis, coordination with different departments and stakeholders, and plan preparation and implementation. So commissioner is involved in
Second, baseline gap analysis and
baseline gap analysis,
Plan
coordination.
preparation and implementation.
Okay, someone says plan preparation, someone says baseline gap. Okay, let's see. What is the department head involved in?
Baseline gap analysis.
so he have to implement it, I think so. SWM department head is need to
Okay.
implement.
Okay, so I see a difference in opinion. Fine. And accounts department head?
Revenue and expenditure.
So there is no difference in opinion in that. Revenue, yeah. So what happens is, so everywhere the department head is the main head in charge who would set the boundaries on what needs to be done, or what is the gap which needs to be done, and what are the facilities that needs to be there, who are the people who should work on it, how should they work together. So all that comes under this gap analysis, coordination, all that. And then we have the commissioner. So commissioner's task is to implement. Mainly commissioner is the
Okay.
one who, so this needs to, it can be a subject expert also, so they can call a subject, so this department head can call a subject expert and then be part of this, or the person itself can be someone who knows, has good knowledge about what is being done. But the commissioner is mainly an execution, so is involved in the execution or how this needs to be done. So this is the answer to this. So the commissioner or the chief execution officer, so it plan preparation and implementation is the task, and the department head is in charge of this gap analysis, coordination, plan preparation in the sense giving the ideas, alternative options, everything. The final plan preparation, or the making it into a implementable version and then just getting it out, is the task of the CEO or commissioner. Right. So yeah, so this is what we discussed when it came in our lecture. So this is directly taken from the lecture. So it's the responsibility of the CEO to prepare plans, to implement it, and the department head is in charge of this. And then we have other engineers or town planning department head by local facilities. So all this, right. Now, yeah, so problem 16, match the various forms of public-private partnership with its method of functioning. So, yes, so this is what we were discussing. There are different forms of public-private partnerships that can be there. So, yeah, so the method of functioning is asked. So first we have diversures, which, and then we have
Concession.
consensions, and then we have lease affirmages, and then we have management contract. So the method of functioning: private operator is responsible for both operation and investment. Private operator operates the publicly owned system, collects revenues and shares with the public authority, which is responsible for investment. And then we have infrastructure assets are sold to private investors completely. And then we have publicly owned utilities managed by a private operator. So first one, A, what does that match best to?
Infrastructure assets are sold to private.
Correct. Yeah. So in this one, yeah, infrastructure assets are sold to private investors. Yes. And then B. Okay. So let's go to the next one. C. Lease FMAges.
Private
Leases.
operators operate the publicly owned system.
Private operator. This one. A private operator is responsible
No,
for,
C,
or
second.
private operator operates a publicly owned system and collects revenues, yes, and shares with the public authority, which is responsible for the investment. Correct. So it is leases and FMHs, so which means the main, so you've leased it out. So the main responsibility lies with the public, the public authority is still the head, and they've leased it out. So they operate. So they do everything which needs to be done, and then finally shares the revenue. Okay, that is correct. Then we have management contractors.
4.
Publicly owned
Utility is
utilities
managed by
managed by
private
private.
contractor. Very good. So that leaves us with option like first
A.
one. No, private operator is responsible for both operation and
Investment.
investment on right. So yeah, so this we have discussed this in our lecture also, and very detailed discussion is given in our urban utilities NPTEL lecture on different forms of public-private partnerships. So these are definitions only, nothing much to explain in this. But if you're interested to know more along those lines, you can visit that lecture also. So that you can get it from the previous year video, the site which I showed you before. Oh, I think that was not visible how to download the videos. Okay, by the end of the class, I will show you where to find previous year's videos and then where to find these videos also. Right. So let's go to the next question. Yeah, so these are the different. So apart from whatever we discussed, there's also this mixed ownership companies also, where you have a private investor. Where the private investor has a minority share also, and then it operates in the shares the financial gains. Then you have build, operate, and transfer projects also. Certain projects are being done that way also. So you just build, operate, and then you transfer. You're transferring it. So these are different PPP models, private public partnership models, which are there. Right. Now, question 17. Dash is a charge imposed on project beneficiaries. Development charges, betterment charges, and service charges.
Service charge.
Service charges, okay. Any other answer? Development? Okay, so development would be the initial capital investment or the main project investment. So that need not be added on to the beneficiaries or some. So by beneficiaries, you're talking about something which comes allied with that. So you start a project and something is slowly getting added on to that. So that doesn't come under the development charge. Now, does it come under betterment charge? It can be a betterment charge because it's something which is added on in order for it to become better. So now service charge mainly comes in where the project for the service of the project, and it's not for the beneficiaries, but it's for the main project, not for the allied fields or something which is aligned to this project. So this comes under betterment charge actually. So these are the ones. So you have the development charges, which is the cost of the new service, and betterment charges are imposed on these beneficiaries, and then service charge comes where periodically whatever your perishables that you're using for this or uh, whatever periodic charges which are coming, that comes under this service charge. But this beneficiaries, again, it's not periodic. You have an allied field or something which gets added onto it for the betterment. It's again more or less something you're building new. So periodically you need not like every year that charge would not be there. So that doesn't come under a
Yeah,
service
can you
charge.
give an example of betterment charge? Like suppose
Yeah.
a toll bridge is made, it improves the life of people around who are actually the beneficiaries. So what do you call that? I mean, it is you're actually collecting a toll. So what it
Oh, so
amounts
that
to?
comes under a different. So a toll would be, it would be under would it? Yeah, that's a good question. So it's mainly done for a facility. So it should be a service. it should be a service charge. Okay, I really need to look in these three aspects where it would come. Yeah, that's need to look, because it's again, it's done only when people are using that, right?
No,
So
I'm not too worried about that. But
hmm,
what I want to say, ask that suppose a project happens, say for example the slum, of Dharavi slum, so the direct project beneficiaries will be the local people, but they don't
yes.
want it for their own vested interest. That is different. But you tell me that then what is a betterment charge like? Can you give an example of a betterment charge?
Hmm. I think I'll have to get back to you regarding that, because now I'm also
Problem at all. No, I mean I am as very clueless on this. I just it's
huh.
all this definitions came, so maybe it
Yeah.
clarified in the next class.
Yeah, I think I'll get back to you regarding that. A good example on what can be a betterment charge. Yeah. Okay. So this is the last question. So Dash supports economically unattractive projects. So yeah, so there are only two options. So banking institutions, or is it bilateral or multilateral development agencies? So again, the catch here is it's economically. Oops, I think. Okay, sorry. I think I showed the answer. Yeah, so the catch is economically unattractive projects. So yeah, so that is more than because it's economically not very attractive. So you'll have to go for other development agencies, like bilateral and multilateral development agencies are the ones who usually support economically unattractive projects. Right. So yeah, so I think that's all about different questions which I wanted to discuss today. Let me get back to the screen where everyone is. Yeah. So back to the screen. Oh my God, there were so many people who wanted to join the call, and I just saw it right now. That's yeah, so I guess I'm sorry to I'm sorry that I did not see this uh, meeting request which had come. So I'd say that if everybody can join by at least like 8, 10, it would be good, because once I go full screen, then I might miss this, or I don't know what other mechanism is there. Probably I'll try to join from another device also, so that I can see that people are requesting to join. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll join from another device and then sort it. So yeah, so I'll get back regarding that. It's a thought-provoking question. It's still in my mind. Yeah, what can be a good example? So I'll get back regarding that in the next class. Then, is there any other doubts on anything we discussed today or
Ma'am,
anything
I
at all?
have two doubts.
Yeah.
The very first is, will the question be straightforward during examination?
So the exam questions will be very similar to what we are discussing in class right now. These interactive sessions also very similar to the assignment. So what we are discussing is what is very similar to the assignment. So it'll be like that. You won't have. So yes. So that I'm not in a position to say that right now, because the format of the question paper, I'm not sure whether that's been finalized. But from last year, we've been so last year the format was that it had only MCQ questions similar to the assignment. But the
And
year
problem
before
with
that,
me,
when this course was not launched, at that time there were certain questions where options were not given, but then you'll have to write the answer. So I'm not sure this time such questions will be introduced. Yeah.
okay, ma'am, I have one more question and last question.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm preparing for my exam, so I am unable to watch any class. Like, I haven't watched any class till now. I was answering just on the base of my, like, whatever I study in my polity book.
Okay.
So I want to ask, if I miss the exam, which is going to be held in April,
Yeah.
when would I be able to participate in exam again?
Oh, so this since this is a voluntary course, a retest would not be done. So on the fixed day of the exam, it needs to be done. So if you are registered for the exam, uh, I think if you miss the exam, I don't think there is another. Uh, up until recently, there was not. But so if it's a very valid reason, you can always put it up in the course page where I showed you, where you can ask a question. So you can put it up there, and the main NPTEL team would take that up. So we are just the subject teams, but exam is organized by the main NPTEL, because they organize for all subjects. So I guess this they would have to look into. So you put it up there so that they are also aware that you have an issue like this. But usually that's not allowed that day of the exam, because after all these 12 weeks, there's only one exam which is conducted.
Exam center.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, so yes, somebody. Okay, so let me go to the chat box. I think someone's put some questions over there. So,
Hello.
yes, Meenal.
I don't know where is the exam center at Bhopal. I'm at Bhopal.
Right, right. So that will be shared with you probably a month or two before the exam only, because the centers can also keep changing. So that might not be known beforehand, but in a local region, it should be that. I think yes, you can give a preference. So regarding exam and exam center, I'm not very aware at this point, because that would be in a much later stage. Looking at the number of people who have registered for the exam, they would decide on the center. So you can also put it up in the discussion forum in that ask using that ask a question. So probably a core team member would come and answer that. Something else over here is that what will be the format for final exam, descriptive or MCQ? Yeah. So MCQ mostly. If there's any change and if there's description in one of the classes, I'll say that. But based on previous years, it should be MCQ. Then is there any group chat for us, or we can create? Yeah, so the discussion forum itself is a group chat. If you put some question over there, anybody can respond to that. So that's a good group chat. Or if you want to create something in WhatsApp, I don't think everybody's phone numbers are shared publicly, so that might be difficult. So that you guys can coordinate among yourself. And then can we register next semester if we miss the exam this semester? So this course is there. Not in the immediate next semester, will be there next year. So this is run once in a year only. It's not there in both the semesters. So yeah, but if you register for next year, then you'll have to do the assignments again. So I don't think there's a provision to carry forward your assignments. Just one sec. Sorry. So we didn't register for the exam. Is it possible to register for the exam? Excuse me. Is the date over to register for the exam? I don't think the date's over, because usually after 1 week after the live session starts, only the dates close. So this okay, I'll check this whether that it should be there in that Swayam portal itself. Yeah, so the last date is till February 16th. Correct. So usually it is there after for more, so you can still register. But yeah, carrying forward to the next semester, I don't think it's allowed. You'll have to start fresh. Do we get recordings of these problem solving sessions? Yes. So after this session, you will get an email which will contain a drive with the presentation which I discussed today. That presentation will be there in the drive, and this video recording will be there in YouTube, and you will be getting a link to that YouTube link. So yeah, that'll be made available. Yeah. So yes. So I guess that question is already answered. It's there till February 16th. So yeah. So any other doubts, anyone? Okay. Okay. So if there are no doubts, I think so we have the session till 9. So, but mostly it'll get before 9, get over before 9 itself, because the questions are pretty straightforward. So yes. So as Viber was saying, probably this week's questions might have been very straightforward, because it was just an introduction. This module was on introduction. Probably next week's, without watching the lecture, it may not be very easy for everyone to answer the questions. So it would be best if you can finish watching the lectures before the live sessions. Otherwise, you'll have to repeat the whole thing, right? So yeah. Can you show previous year recording? Previous years, the lecture. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you for reminding that. Yes. So let me share the entire screen. Yeah, so my screen's visible now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, so let me go there. Yeah, so this is the portal that you have. So I'll just go. So what I was saying, ask a question is over here. So this can be your platform for discussions also, because it's a Google group. So whatever you message over here, it in email also everybody would be getting it. So that's one. Then yeah, so in your course announcements, you have yeah, so this one, so you have this one, download links. So in this, the previous years, so this is from the archives. So you get all the video lectures over here. So you can download. So if you want to go ahead and then download, you can get it. So in this same portal itself, you can check for urban utilities, like some things, but that won't be required. We'll be explaining that here. But in from this one. List of courses you can check for urban utilities course, and then in that this public private partnership has been explained in a lecture called utilities. But again, that's not required. That's very well explained in our this lecture also, so you need not. But if there's something which needs to be looked up from the previous one, I'll give you the link of that particular lecture in our discussion. During our discussions itself, I'll give you that. So yeah, so apart from that, your live yeah, so like this live problem sessions will also be there. You'll get the link to this also. Don't worry, you need not go to this page at all. Everything will be given in your this one announcements. The link will be given here only. In one of the announcement it would be given, and after it comes, it would be there on your side panel over here. Yeah, over here, like after this download videos, there would be another tab which comes, which would say link to the live session videos and all that. So that'll also be there. Probably by Wednesday or Thursday, that would be updated. Right. So I guess that's it. Okay, so I guess we can call it a day. Any other doubts? Nothing? Okay. Yes, Vaibhav, are you saying something?
No, I said thank you.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. So, yeah. So, thank you all for joining, and I'm very happy. It was a good crowd. Previous sessions, we never had such interactive crowd. So, looking forward to upcoming interactive sessions. Yeah. So, thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you,
I'll
ma'am.
be online till 9. I might keep my video shut. So, if you have any doubts, you want to come back and then ask, this portal will be open till 9. But yeah, but we are ending the session. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Thank
someone wants to join now. Wow. Okay. Hello, Rohit. We're almost concluding the session. But I'm glad you joined. So the recording would be made available, so you can watch that. And if you have any doubts, you can ask here. I'll keep the video shut, and people who have any doubts can stay back and ask. Otherwise, we can end the meeting. Yeah. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Good night. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful.
Okay.
I have
Thank
got
you.
one question, one personal question, but
Yeah.
I'll wait for a minute for others to conclude and then.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah.
My basic question is, there is an assignment you talked about. It
Yeah.
is. I did not go into detail.
Huh.
Firstly, the portal is excellent. It is purely to gain knowledge. I have joined this. I have got no career interest as such per se, but of course, since I'm looking after the entire administration of a steel plant here, so I thought that maybe I have a better understanding, because we have worked with municipalities, and so my question is, you have an assignment or something you talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do I find it? There's a link which has been given, or
Yeah.
how do we
So
access the assignment?
you have registered for the course, right? So this is a quiz. It's a quiz, and the quiz is called assignment. So I was using it interchangeably. So if you've registered for the course, whenever the videos are uploaded, weekly videos are uploaded, you would get an email in your registered email ID that the videos are there. So in the videos itself, in the end, there's a quiz. So I'll just show that right now. Uh, yeah. So my screen's visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our portal. So once you log in to the Swayam portal, you'll be getting something like this. So in this, on the left-hand side, you have, so week 0, there's one week 0 assignment which is given. So this is not evaluated. It's just for practice. So okay, I went to the solution page. Yeah. So this is a practice assignment. So yeah, so it's like a quiz. So we can solve this and then you'll get points. So immediately you'll get to know what are the points, and after 1 week, the solution will be released. So the deadline for this assignment is I think 2nd of 7th of February, not week 0, week 1. So today we discussed week 1 questions. So we have an assignment here. So this is week 1, assignment 1. So these are the questions we discussed. This question we already discussed. So like this, we'll be discussing certain questions. So this will help in solving these assignments. So after 7th, I think 2 or 3 days after that, the whole solution would be given. Immediately once you submit itself, you'll get to know where you went wrong and which are the correct answers. But the solution with detailed explanation will be shared in this itself. There would be, like for week 0, what we saw solution. Yeah, week 0 we saw solution. Like this in week 1, solution tab will come. So yeah, so this is the assignment that I was talking. This is mainly important because for students who are taking the examination, the exam scores along with the assignment scores both would be taken into consideration, so that a continuous evaluation is there.
Of course. And one more question is that you talked about that we should go through the lecture before attending the interactive class.
Correct.
So how to access that?
Yeah. So everything happens in this portal only. So we have this course. Yeah. So this is the main. So we go to course, and then in that the lecture. So right now week 1's and week 2's lecture videos have been released. So in week 1, these are the lecture videos we have. So this is lecture 1. So if you click on this, you can watch it over here, or you can even watch it in YouTube also. So these are all unlisted videos, which means in YouTube, if we simply go and type this, we won't get the video. But from this link, we can get, it will direct us to YouTube, and in YouTube, we can watch. So there are 5 videos in every module. So every week, one module is covered. So all the questions are, the quiz questions are mainly based on these modules only, directly taken from that to an extent. So it'll be easy to answer. So what we're doing in the interactive session is, one sec. Excuse me. Yeah. Interactive session is just to solve these questions. So we are not going into the theory again because it's already there in the videos. So this today's was easy, but coming days, if we have not watched the videos, then we might not be able to relate to the questions which are asked.
Yeah, thank you very much. I must appreciate the way you conducted. I am really impressed, and I hope that in coming days also you'll have very, very fruitful sessions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So looking forward to I really liked your questions also because it's making me also think. So I'm not very much, we are also learning in this. So thank you very much in that.
And by the way, before joining Tata Steel, I worked in JSW project in Shalboni, and I used to keep on coming to, Kharagpur
Kharagpur, oh,
very often.
wonderful.
And we had one OP Jindal, scholarship thing, and we conducted quite a few interviews in IIT Kharagpur. They're very close to my heart.
Oh, okay, wonderful. That's
Thank
nice. So
you.
if you're ever coming again, you should definitely drop into City Future Lab.
Yeah, I know you people are doing a lot of hard work there, and I'm really impressed by the quality of the people who are coming in and choosing this kind of thing. Because over a period of time, I have seen that public-private partnership has really flourished. When I joined JSW in 2012 in Medinipur, and we had just brought in that CSR thing, so a lot of community activities, including the sanitation and educating people, educating the villagers,
True.
was in our domain.
Oh, wow.
Anyway,
Okay,
thank you.
wow.
I will not digress
No,
anymore.
no. Session is over, so it's only for people who have any doubts. So it's good to know that. So I guess your expertise is actually going,
Yes.
it's going to be, because you have hands-on experience on doing these policy decisions and all that. So it's good. We'll also get to learn a lot. That's good.
So I may not be adding much of academic questions, but maybe some practical, where I feel that how you people are thinking about it, because we look at it from a totally different perspective. So how
Correct.
you people are thinking about it, and how you people are bringing the change. Actually, huge changes coming in all sorts of activities where it was totally thought that it is domain of the government. It is not
Yes.
anymore.
Yes. Yes. True. In
Hello.
fact, the scores also, the motivation behind the scores was also that, so that we know to get into people or to get into policy, the actual implementation side, because usually there's always criticism saying that academicians are a bit away from what is practically happening. So, and when it comes to urban planning or policy planning, that should never be the case. So it should be linked. So the whole idea was that itself. So I'm very happy that a lot of working professionals have come in, and this interactive sessions are going in the exactly expected way. So it's wonderful. Yes, so I guess Meenal
Hello.
has raised her hand. Yes, Meenal.
Yes, ma'am. There is a question in assignment 1
Yes.
about the city sanitation plan comes under which of the following. So I
Okay.
just have a doubt. Is it a special purpose plan or it is local area plan?
Yeah, so I'm not supposed to be giving out answers which are there in this current assignment. I didn't know that that
Okay.
question was there in this current assignment. So yeah, so we already discussed that. So because of that, I'll tell you, its city sanitation plan comes under a special purpose plan. That's there in our lecture also. But by default, in this session, this time's assignment questions I'm not supposed to answer.
Okay, ma'am. I just
Yeah.
I
Sometimes some repetitions are there. It might be there. So in that case, it's
mm,
okay. But apart from that, we don't previous. So I've mainly taken questions from last year's assignment, then
mm,
some last year question paper, some gate questions. So maybe some
yeah.
repetitions are also there.
I clicked on D, but just to confirm.
Huh, okay. Fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So double, I think you had
Yeah,
raised
I
your
have one question, ma'am.
yeah.
7th is the last date to submit the assignment for week 1 or week 2?
I was under the
Mm.
impression that it's week 2 and week 1 is 31st. But now when I opened the portal, I think I saw that it's uh, week 1. So when you go to that quiz, you would be able to see when is the last date. But to be on the safe side, submitted by 31st itself, because usually that's the case. Okay, someone's
Okay.
joining now.
If
Yeah,
we
so
are not
usually
able to
that is the
submit it
case
by
where,
31st,
sorry?
if I'm not able to submit it by 31st,
Yeah, then you
so I
missed the
don't,
assignment.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one question. If I miss some assignment, then will it affect my examination score?
Yeah, it will. Your examination score is separate. You'll have separate marks for that. But then, for you to pass or qualify, I think you need to, out of the 12 assignments, at least, no, not at best of 10 assignments are taken. So your overall score, so if you don't attempt, then if you have only 2 assignments, then your score reduces. So I guess there's a cutoff also. So these rules and norms, it's set up by NPTEL team, which may vary every run of the course. So that part you can again put it up in the forum so that the concerned person can come and answer that. But it would be best not to miss any assignment, so that in the end you can take the best, and then that will be there in the score. But one thing I can tell you, that assignment scores will be calculated while giving your final grade. That also has a weightage, and usually up until last year it was done that out of 12 assignments, best 10 assignments we can take.
Okay.
Okay. But where can we track the assignments and its due date?
It's there
In the portal. So I think
yeah.
I was showing you the portal right now. So I'll just show it once more. I guess a lot of people are having this doubt. So yeah. So this is a portal that we have,
Yeah.
and this is the assignment. So quiz assignment 1, quiz 1. So in this, so here it is shown as 7. So that is why I thought maybe it was extended. but usually it is given for 1.5 weeks, which means every Friday the assignments are uploaded, and you have till the next Wednesday to upload. So, which means assignment one
Okay,
should
so
ideally be over by 31st, but since it was showing 7th, maybe NPTEL team has relaxed it a bit. So, this is week 2. So, let's see week 2 how when it is showing. That is
week,
also 7th. Okay. So,
okay,
maybe
so week
assignment
one
1 has
and
been
week two
relaxed a bit, but
might be
week
on.
2 is correct. It's 7th.
Okay. So as per this portal, week one is also on 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if something goes wrong, you can always mail NPTEL saying that this is what is shown in your platform. But I guess email should have also come. If in the email, if it's mentioned 31st, then go by 31st, because it can be a
Okay.
portal error also, and we may.
Okay. Because what I'm seeing in week one is the assignment should be submitted on or before Wednesday, that is 7th,
For
on
week
mail
1,
also. Yeah, for week one.
okay, then good.
Okay, so we have last date for 7th for week one and week two.
Yeah, but don't, yeah, last week for 7th, you do that. But I would say don't keep it till the end, because anyway, we had today's discussion. So based on that, doing this assignment won't take more than half an hour, I'm supposing, because it's very
Right.
simple question. So you can easily submit by 31st.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Anybody, any more doubts? Okay, fine. So yeah, if no more doubts, I think, so I'll keep my camera off and mute. If there's any doubts, you can always ask. I'm here only. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all
So
for
we
joining.
have this interaction session on every Monday, right?
Yeah, so every Monday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. That will be the interactive session. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, somebody was asking something. Yes. Uh, or was it a thank you? I think.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. So I'm here because I guess people are still joining. So if they want to ask something, I'll be here till 9. Oh, I'm just keeping my camera off. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so thank you all for joining. So it's 9, so we are winding up this session today. So see you next week, next Monday. Okay, bye bye.